Some men hit 60 and quietly disappear from the roads they used to own. They sell the bike. They tell themselves it makes sense. They say they're being responsible. But what they're really doing is listening to people who never rode a day in their life tell them when it's time to stop. This video is not for those men. This is for the rider who still feels something when an engine fires up across a car park. The man who knows the difference between a fast road and a good road. The man who's put enough miles under his wheels to know exactly what he wants. And he's done apologizing for wanting it. Triumph has been building motorcycles since 1902. Over 100 years of getting it right. And right now, today, they are making some of the most refined, most rider-friendly, most genuinely beautiful machines they have ever produced. Bikes built on real history, not marketing copy. Bikes that respect the rider sitting on them. 7 of those bikes made this list. Each one chosen for a different reason. Each one built for a man who knows what riding actually feels like. By the time we reach the top of this list, you will know exactly which Triumph was made for someone like you. And I'll say this now, the bike sitting at number 1 surprised every experienced rider who threw a leg over it for the first time. Stay with me until we get there. It's worth it. Let's start with a bike that looks like it came straight off a desert trail in 1968. Wire wheels, high-mounted exhaust, round headlight, minimal bodywork. The Scrambler 900 is one of the most visually honest bikes Triumph builds. It doesn't try to look futuristic. It doesn't try to impress anyone. It just looks exactly like a motorcycle should look. But here's what surprises people. It rides more comfortably than it looks. The seat is wide and supportive. The riding position puts you upright and relaxed. The bars are wide enough to take corners with real confidence. And that 900 cubic centimeters parallel twin is one of the smoothest, most accessible engines Triumph makes. You don't need to chase high revs. Most of the torque is available well before 4,000. That means pulling out junctions is effortless. Overtaking on a fast road is calm and controlled. You're never fighting the bike. It handles light gravel. It handles crumbling back roads. It handles the kind of surfaces you find when you take the lanes nobody else uses anymore. Not a full dirt bike, but far more capable than it needs to be. The Scrambler 900 doesn't ask you to prove anything. It just wants to go wherever you point it. Now shift the tone completely. Where the Scrambler is rugged and casual, the Speed Twin 900 is refined. Elegant. The kind of bike you'd feel perfectly at home parking outside a good restaurant or leaning against a sea wall while you watch the road you just came down. It has genuine cafe racer DNA. The lines are low, tight, and purposeful. Every angle looks considered. From across a car park, it turns heads without trying. But the ergonomics are kinder than the styling suggests. You sit upright. The bars are placed wide enough for comfortable, confident cornering. The seat height suits most riders without any need for modifications. The same 900 cubic centimeters engine as the Scrambler, but tuned slightly differently. The power delivery is smooth and linear. There are no sudden surges, no drama at the throttle. Just confidence every time. This is the bike you ride when you want to feel sharp. When you want the experience to match what you see in the mirror before you leave the house. The Speed Twin 900 doesn't let anyone down, least of all the man riding it. Here's where the Triumph story gets personal for a lot of riders. The T100 name goes back to 1959. That year, a Triumph Bonneville crossed a salt flat in Utah and broke the 100 miles per hour barrier. It became a legend. It became the bike that defined what a British motorcycle was supposed to be. James Dean owned one. Steve McQueen rode one. There are riders in their 60s right now who remember the posters on their bedroom walls. The modern T100 carries all of that history. It looks the part, it sounds the part, and it rides better than any T100 ever did. The riding position is relaxed and open. Wide bars, mid-mounted foot pegs, a saddle that holds you properly on long roads. You could put a full day of miles on this bike and step off feeling human. That is not something you take for granted after a certain age. The engine is smooth and unhurried. It's not trying to win a race. It's trying to make you smile every single time the throttle opens. Fuel injection means it starts cleanly on the coldest morning. No ritual, no coaxing. Just turn the key and go. The T100 is the bike you choose when you want something honest. something with real history behind it, something that feels completely right from the moment you sit on it. But wait until we get closer to the top of this list, because one of these Triumphs doesn't just ride beautifully, it makes other riders stop mid-sentence and ask what year it is. Now, let's change the conversation completely. Some riders don't want to cruise. They want capability. They want a bike that eats long distances without complaint and handles whatever the road puts in front of it. They've still got places to go, and they want a machine that takes it seriously. The Tiger 900 GT Low was built for exactly that rider. Triumph designed the GT Low version specifically for riders who want the adventure bike experience without the sky-high seat that usually comes with it. The standard seat sits low enough that this becomes an accessible, confidence-giving machine for riders of most heights. Getting both feet down at a stop shouldn't require planning. On the GT Low, it doesn't. The 3-cylinder, 900 cubic centimeters engine is genuinely exceptional. Smooth across the full rev range. Real power when you need it. Effortless on long stretches of open road where you just want to settle in and cover ground. And in tighter sections, switchbacks, technical bends, it's precise and responsive in a way that rewards experience. Wind protection is real, not token. The screen does its job. At 60 or 70 miles per hour on exposed highway, that matters more now than it did 30 years ago. Heated grips come standard on higher spec models. These are not luxuries. They are reasons to keep riding on days when other bikes would stay in the garage. The Tiger 900 GT Low is for the rider who hasn't run out of road yet. Long routes, real distances, the kind of trip you've been saying you'll do for the last 3 years. This is the bike that stops the excuses. Now we're in a completely different world. The Speedmaster is a cruiser. Long, low, unhurried. It looks like it rolled out of 1960s California and never needed a change because it was already right. But this isn't a bike built for car shows and slow parking lot laps. This thing moves. The 1,200 cubic centimeters high-torque engine pulls hard from almost idle speed. You barely need to rev it. Just roll the throttle and the Speedmaster surges forward with a deep, physical thump that you feel through the whole bike. Not violent, not aggressive, just satisfying in the way that only real torque can be. The seat sits at 705 millimeters. For most riders, that means flat-footed confidence at every stop. The feet go down, the ground is there, and that small moment of certainty is worth more than any horsepower number. Long roads are where this bike earns its name. It's stable and planted. It absorbs distance without asking anything back. The wide bars keep your wrists natural and comfortable over hours, not just minutes. The riding position is relaxed without being lazy, commanding without being aggressive. And when you stop, anywhere, people look. Not because it's loud or flashy, because it looks right. It looks exactly the way people imagined motorcycles should look when they were 12 years old with no idea, yet how long they'd spend chasing that feeling. 2 bikes left, and the very next one has become the most talked about Triumph among experienced riders for good reason. Riders who've owned everything keep ending up back at this one. The bobber stopped people cold the moment Triumph revealed it. There's something about it that's hard to put into words. The single floating saddle, the fat front tire, the stripped back bodywork, the low, deliberate stance. It looks like a custom build from a proper workshop. The kind of thing that should cost twice as much and take twice as long. But it came from the factory that way. Triumph spent years getting the riding position right on this bike. The foot pegs are forward set. The bars are wide and pulled back at an angle that puts you in an open, relaxed posture without ever straining the lower back. It's the kind of position that doesn't announce itself for the first hour. It just keeps feeling right hour after hour. The 1,200 cubic centimeters engine has genuine character. It sounds different from anything else in the Triumph range. There's a real mechanical heartbeat to it, a rhythm that sits in the background of every ride and reminds you exactly why you started doing this. The seat height is 690 millimeters low. Seriously low. Most riders reach the ground with serious confidence at standstill. The bobber is not for every rider. It's for the man who wants something individual. Something that doesn't look like anyone else's bike in the car park. Something that makes a younger rider walk around it slowly trying to work out whether it's new or old, stock or custom. It is in fact both. That's the whole point. In 1959, a man named Johnny Allen rode a Triumph Bonneville across a salt flat and crossed 214 miles per hour. That's where the T120 name comes from. Not from a marketing team, from a record, from a real moment in motorcycle history that nobody who was there ever forgot. The modern Bonneville T120 carries that name the right way. It earns it. Earlier in this video, we talked about the T100, its history, its honesty, the way it makes a rider feel connected to something real. The T120 takes everything the T100 does and adds depth. More displacement, more refinement, more presence. Not more complexity, just more of everything that matters. For a man at this point in his riding life, this is what that means. You don't want a project. You don't want a bike you have to fight. You want one that does everything well, looks stunning without trying, and makes you want to be out on it every single day that the weather allows, and a few days when it doesn't. The 1,200 cubic centimeters parallel twin makes effortless torque across the entire rev range. Ride it fast, ride it slow, ride it in city traffic, ride it on 200 miles of open road with nothing ahead but space. It handles all of it without complaint. It doesn't ask anything from you. It just delivers. The riding position has been getting riders to agree for years. Not sporty, not lazy, just correct. Hours pass without stiffness. Long days end with satisfaction. Not a sore back and a promise to yourself that you'll sort the suspension before next time. And the sound. At idle, the T120 produces a low, rolling thunder that fills whatever space it's in. Open the throttle on an empty road, and it turns into something that doesn't just reach your ears, it reaches your chest. That's not an exhaust system pretending to sound like a real engine. That's a real engine. Over 100 years of getting it exactly right. Riders stop you. They ask questions. They walk around the bike slowly. Some of them just stand there. The T120 says one thing clearly. It says the best version of your riding life is not behind you. It's out there, on a long road, in the morning light, on a machine built by people who never stop caring about the craft. Now, here's the question, and I think this one starts a real argument. Is the Bonneville T120 the single greatest Triumph ever built for experienced riders? Or does the Bobber beat it outright? Leave your answer below. There is no wrong answer, just riders who haven't ridden both yet.